The Lake Erie Grape Discovery Center is the official visitor center for the New York State Lake Erie Concord Grape Belt Heritage Area. Supporting and promoting the grape industry, visit us and learn about grape growing history in the Lake Erie region. Shop for grapey gifts, taste local wine in a Concord vineyard. Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Funding is provided by a grant from New York State Senator Catherine M. Young, representing Western New York's 57th District with a local office in Olean. Chautauqua Sunrise is made possible by a grant from Fredonia Place, a continuing care retirement community providing dignity in a modern luxury environment. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie. From the Access Channel 5 studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Channel 5. Continuing the traditions of Senior Report, we are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week, countywide, from 9 to 10 a.m. Join us by calling in live, emailing us, or checking out our social media. And now, from the Channel 5 studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
Hey, happy Saturday, everybody. I'm Doc Hamels, and welcome to Chautauqua Sunrise. We got a great show in store for you today. So if you can't watch it right now, I understand. Catch us later on at 2 and 8 throughout the week, or watch us on YouTube or whatever. So good morning to everyone, and glad you could join us. We got lots to talk about today, but I have a few things to share with you. First of all, I want to say good afternoon to our friends in WRFA 107.9, low power to the people over in Jamestown. You're going to be listening in on us at Tuesdays at 1 o'clock, and we're just so happy to be part of that whole family over there. And for our viewers this morning, of course, good morning, and put on an extra sweater. It is still a little chilly out there. We're going to have a little bit warmer weather later today, but today is just kind of those bone-chilling November mornings. Well, at my house, we have all the curtains closed, and I'm going to dress the dog up in purple and yellow. The hunters are out all over the place. So to all my friends that are hunting out there, you be careful and be safe. And, my family are lots of great hunters, and they do it right. So wear the protective colors and make sure you know where everybody is. Also want to remind you that if at any time you want to call in here at the studio, you can give us a call at 753-5225 if you have a question or comment. If you want to announce something about your organization or club, we're happy to hear about it. We encourage you, because as I always say, this is really your show. This is for Chautauqua County. It's not about me or the guys here in the studio. We're just here to put it all together for you. If you are awfully bashful, you can always text us or you can tweet us. Drop off it came back again, thank you. You can drop off a message here at the studio later on or whatever, and we're also happy to get your announcements. If you have a poster, put it on the community bulletin board. Okay, you can go to Facebook and you find my email address there. You can always send me stuff. Many of you do, and I appreciate that. So anyways, a lot to talk about. So just want to give a shout out to the folks Over at the Wine Cellar in Jamestown, Will and I played there last night. Had a great time, great bunch of people there. Really made us feel welcome again. We had played there for the local musicians showcase for Infinity back in September. And for some reason, they like what we did, and we're coming back in December. So that's really fun and cool. Tonight, just to let you know, in case you want to come out and hang out with me, we're going to be over at the Bustye Tap House over in Bustye out there on the Five Corners, I guess it is. I don't even know how to describe it. You go out there and you make a right, I guess it is. And a great time, good food, and looking forward to that. We're going to be out there from 8 to 11. Okay, well, it's quiet here this week. I don't know if you remember last week, we had the ghost of Christmas present, Rick Mascaro. Holy mackerel, my eardrums are just now repairing. He has so much fun. I just love when he comes out with us here and hangs out. And Rick Matthews looked great as Scrooge, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that here in our announcements. But Westfield is bursting right now with a lot of activity, and so anyways, we had a lot of fun last week. Okay, I'm going to get right into some announcements because I want to save enough time for our guest because we got a lot to talk about today, and I know my guest has a lot to share with you as well, so stay tuned. So let's just jump right into our community announcements, and then we'll see what else is going on here. All right, my good friends over at the Safety Education Village, I want you to know that they have a Heart Saver CPR AED class, which is going to be held November 21 from 5 to 8 p.m. at the Safety Education Village. All right. These classes are designed to teach students how to perform CPR, choking maneuvers, and the use of an AED for adults, children, and infants. The procedures are a little different depending on how old you are and how big you are. Participants who complete the course will receive a 2-year certification for the American Heart Association, Heart Saver, CPR, and AED training. Classes are offered for anyone ages 12 years and older. Costs are $45 per student and an additional $5 if the student would like a CPR certification card. Please contact Jessica Dayton at 338-0171, or you can go to their website at childrensafetyvillage.com and sign up there as well. And going right along with that, as I mentioned a couple weeks ago, the Safety Education Village is right in the beginning of their major fundraiser, which is their cash calendar. And if you're not familiar with this, I'll hold it up a little bit here. It's a calendar. We all could use a calendar. And every so often on the calendar, there's something that says, for instance, I don't know, surprise gift card, or AED course, a free one, or you can win some money and so forth. And it's all laid out so that people that buy the calendar, they put their names on here and they enter a contest to win prizes throughout the year. And some of them are surprises. I don't even know what they are. And $20, they're selling them at the Safety Village, and people that are involved. At my Rotary Club, I sell these, but I know a lot of people are selling them throughout the area. It's a great way to support children's safety and Safety Education Village. So check that out if you like. Okay, moving right along. Let's go to Fredonia area. Chadwick Bay, New York State Women Incorporated Scholarship. I think this is a new one. The Chadwick Bay, New York State Women Inc. Scholarship was established for female students who have returned or are currently enrolled in college. The requirements are simple. Completion of 1 semester of college with a CPA of 2.5 or above, and an essay outlining educational goals. Applications are available through the Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation or at one of the many local colleges in the area. Completed applications are due to the foundation by February 17th of the coming year. New York State Women's Inc.'s mission is to build powerful women personally, professionally, and politically. A lot of P's there again. This scholarship fulfills this mission and builds on their vision to make a difference in the lives of working women. And I welcome and encourage you to apply. Hopefully that will make a difference in someone's life or in your career. Okay, let's head over to Westfield. I mentioned that the guys were here last week tearing up the studio. Christmas in the Village. All right, there's a bunch of things going on, so let me explain it. Today and tomorrow. Today, Saturday the 18th, right now there's breakfast with Santa at the Presbyterian Church at 10 o'clock. There's a holiday fest at the Patterson Library. 11 o'clock, the Checkers Show at the library. The Historical Society will be hosting a holiday high tea. John Wolf was telling us about this a couple of weeks ago at the historic McClurg Mansion in Moore Park, right there in downtown Westfield. Patrons may feel as though they've stepped back in time as they've enjoyed delightful and delectable sandwiches, savory sweets, and beverages while basking in the rich and beautiful ambience of the mansion. Tea will be served from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. Cost is a mere $15. No reservations needed. I don't write this stuff, I just read it. And then tomorrow, November the 19th, from 10 to 4, there's going to be fine merchandise and concessions at Easton Hall. From 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., there's going to be horse-drawn carriage rides out at Easton Hall. And from 10 to 4 as well, the Hall of Trees at Patterson Library. If you're interested in anything that's going on, give Marilyn Hemmer a call at 326-2504. Again, that's Christmas in the Village in Westfield, New York. Great time there. Then, tomorrow as well, the Westfield Women's Organization has their 30th Holly Tour. 30 years, I believe. Okay, that's going to be held from 12:30 p.m. to 5. And let me tell you a little bit about it. Tickets are $10. A variety of Westfield homes will be decorated in Christmas tradition for your enjoyment. Admission includes tour of homes and dessert. Proceeds benefit community programs. Tickets are available at the following locations. Okay, you got the Four Seasons Flower Shop, the Westfield Optical, Tallulah's Hair Design, at the Grape Discovery Center, Main Street Salon, out in Fredonia at the Paper Factory, in Lakewood it's the Bag and String Wine Merchants, and so forth. So anyways, that's tomorrow, and it's always a great time, and I understand the houses and the other buildings are absolutely gorgeous and get you in that holiday spirit. Okay. Right along with the holiday winter theme here, Chautauqua Institution launches Winter Village. I think this is new. I don't remember hearing about this before. The Winter Village at Chautauqua will launch November 24th and continue for 5 weekends through New Year's Eve. This new family-oriented initiative will showcase Chautauqua's picturesque grounds, boutique shops, and restaurants, and will include a holiday lighting display across Bester Plaza. Activities for children, including visits from Santa, treat decorating, food and drink, and outdoor fire pits and special events. The Winter Village will be held from 4 to 8 on Fridays and 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturdays and Sundays. Admission and parking are free for all weekends, and a special Light the Plaza opening night event will be held at 5 p.m. on Friday, November 4th. All our towns are lighting up for the holidays. Sounds great. Okay, from our friends at the Chautauqua Chamber of Commerce, they want you to know that once again, it's a neighborhood champion for small business Saturday. That means that they're going to be promoting shop small, shop local opportunities for small businesses on this national day devoted to supporting independent merchants in our community, locally owned, non-chain, small retail businesses and restaurants that will open starting November 25. So, as we always say, try to support your local businesses because they're the backbone of our communities. Okay, let's move along. We got a special book sale going on today. It's at the Mayville Library, right here in Mayville, New York. It's going to be going on starting today all the way through next Saturday. So there's various times, and there they are for you. But the majority of them start at 10 a.m. and they run, for instance, today till 2, but then 7 and 5 and so on. So check it out, and they want you to remember that you can shop for Christmas right there at the book sale. Great books that you can cozy up to around the fireplace with a nice blanket this coming winter. We don't have a slide for this, but I want to mention that I was just reminded that over in Ripley, they're having an auction at the Ripley Library this afternoon, so you can check that out as well. Okay, my friends over at Rolling Hills Radio, they got something coming up in November, all right? After a capacity audience-filled Shawbucks for Rolling Hills Radio's first show of its 8th season, Ken Harley, the show's producer and host, announces the lineup for the 27th of November show, the Moonshine Rhythm Club, and returning favorite Steve Piper. Okay, if you haven't been to any of these shows, these are live shows, and it's all broadcast right there at Shawbucks. Let me tell you just real quick a little bit about these guys. The Moonshine Rhythm Club has put their distinct signature sound on the best of classic recordings of the 1930s and 40s swing era. Audience members will be treated to the acoustic guitar-driven fire of gypsy swing popularized, that's hard to say, by Django Reinhardt and the later artists such as Count Basie. All right, and you got, wait a minute. Steve Piper is a songwriter and performer who falls within the folk and country tradition, but according to Harley, has tastes diverse enough to slightly alter the reality of the open-hearted listener. I don't know what that means. Ken's going to be on the show next week. I'm going to have to ask him, what in the world does that mean? Anyways, so lots of fun there. Tickets are available at the door. And of course, it'll be aired on WRFA Fridays at 6. So you got that coming up. But we're going to talk more in depth about that next week. Moving right along. Okay, we've been talking about this a little bit. Over the Lakeshore Model Railroad Association invite you to go to their big doings on December 2nd. They're going to host their second year for the annual Christmas open house to the public. They'll be displaying many of their operating train layouts featuring their hands-on operation layout for the kids. I don't know, there's something about model trains and kids that they just fall in love with them. My kids love them. During this event, they'll have food and a great Chinese auction in order to raise funds for their ongoing efforts to build and improve layouts for families to enjoy through the years to come. Okay, it's going to be held at the Eastminster Presbyterian Church across from General Electric plant at 2320 East Lake Road in Erie, Pennsylvania. All right, and admission's $2 per person with a non-perishable food item, $3 without. And if you want to know more, go to Lakeshore. This is all one word now. Lakeshore MRA. Okay, so all one word. Lakeshore MRA at gmail.com. You can give them send them a message. Okay, and that's coming up on the 2nd of December. Okay, breakfast with Santa and Friends is going to be held at the Children's Safety Education Village. Once again, we're getting back to them down here in the Nashville area. It's going to be held Saturday, December 2nd from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And adults are $5. Three-year-olds to 12 is $3, and 2 years and under is free. And as you can see, you can get pictures with the frozen characters. They're going to usually have face painting. They have kids crafts, cookie decorating. Just a great time, and it's all benefiting the Children's Safety Education Village. Okay, here's a new one. I haven't seen this one before. Christmas in Whoville. Who knew? Christmas in Whoville is going to be held on December 2nd at the Stanley Host Ladies Auxiliary. Christmas Bazaar from 9 to 3. There's story time with Elf Mary throughout the day. Photo and tree decorating contest, event activities for young and old, lunch with the Grinch and Cindy Lou in the fire hall. That's one of my favorite Christmas shows. Yorker's historical display at the bazaar, breakfast with Santa at the Sherman School, art show by local artists and Sherman students, sponsored by the Sherman Chamber of Commerce. Red bows in memory of loved ones are being sold by the Sherman Chamber of Commerce to go on the tree at the gazebo for the tree lighting ceremony on Friday night at 6:30. There'll be a tureen dinner at the fire hall on Sunday. So Sherman's bringing it on too. So we've got all kinds. I've got Chautauqua, I've got Westfield, and now Sherman. Unbelievable. Okay, let's move on to slide 22. Home for the holidays. Here's another one. Christmas at the Reg. All right. This is going to be held Saturday, December 9th at 4 p.m. Tickets are on sale now. Adults, they have a range from $18 to $10. If you're under 18, they're from $18 to $5. There's online tickets at and also at the box office. A new Christmas tradition, it says here. Bring the family for an afternoon of festive music, including the Panama Concert Choir, Helga Hulse, Russell and Hamels, anybody you know? Southwestern Choralers, Pearl City Jazz featuring Rasmussen, Jamestown High School Madrigal Singers, Bill Ward and Friends, Cold Lazarus, and returning from last year, Ron Orbach, Marla Harris, and Steve Davis. We are so excited about this that we're going to be part of this showcase, so we are pumped and we are already rehearsing. Home for the Holidays is Christmas at the Reg, was first produced in 2016. 10,000 Maniacs and WRFA station manager Dennis Drew pulled together a lineup featuring a wide variety of musical talent from Jamestown and the Chautauqua region to perform traditional and modern songs of the season. Audience response was so great that the Reg decided to do it again. So that's coming up on the 9th, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in next couple of weeks. All right, and then last one I got here, World Juniors Exhibition Game. The World Juniors Exhibition Games presented by Doubletree by Hilton Jamestown are coming to the Northwest Arena this December. This will be the first time that the World Juniors have returned to Jamestown since 2010 when they played 3 sold-out games at the former Jamestown Savings Bank Ice Arena. All right, and they're going to be playing teams such as teams from Belarus, Slovakia, and other countries, I guess. So we're going to tell you a little bit more about this as time goes by, but mark your calendars because they're looking at December 20 and 21. Should be a great time if you like hockey. All right, enough on that. We're going to take a break. This is a public service announcement, and we're going to be right back. Stay tuned.
I'm always the first one up. I'm always up for a challenge. I'll overcome any obstacle. I don't believe in limits. I refuse to be average.
Watching that threw me back to my high school days when I was a sophomore in high school and I was in gym class, and my gym teacher said, "Hamels." I go, "Yes," and he says, "Report to the athletic field today at 2:30 or something like that." I go, "What's he want?" So I thought I was in trouble or something for talking in class. So next thing I know, he says, "I want you to run cross country." I go, I don't even know what cross country is. And so the next thing I know, I'm running. Well, I'm not a very good runner. I'm too tall, I'm too long, too slow, too whatever. So as the theory goes, I ran the first season terribly, but I finished. And the joke was, the guy in front of me, who was just a little bit faster than me, I would always say, "Wally, don't let the bus leave because I'm still coming, and don't let them leave without me. Let them know I'm still back here." But as the woman says there, you gotta try, you gotta do it, just keep at it. So anyways, right now I want to welcome to the show Mark Wilson, who is an inspiration to me, at least from a health and athletic point of view. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Doc. How are you?
Good. We have some interesting connection in how you're here today, and I guess we'll get into that a little bit. But Mark, we're going to be talking about what you do for your business and what you do for fun. Some people may not think it's fun, and Ironman competitions and so forth. But tell us a little bit about yourself, because I really don't know you very well.
Well, thank you. First of all, I'm so happy to be here and honored, honestly. I mean, this show is amazing, and what you
It's
do.
a team. It's a team.
It's about a team, and just taking care of the community like the way you are is a real gift, and I hope to utilize it more for ourselves, of course, but just the community doesn't realize how lucky they are to have you, and I'm really just want to say that. Thank you for doing this.
Well, we've gotten some response very similar to that, because people say, this is the only live show in the county that I'm aware of, and that this is an outlet that people can, for free of charge, share their stories, or we try to highlight the good stuff in Chautauqua County, which we're going to do right now. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I know, I'm sorry to get off track.
Thank you for the compliments nonetheless.
Yeah, well, basically, I grew up right here in Mayville.
Right here.
Both my wife Tanya and I did. We met here right in kindergarten in this building.
Where we're sitting right now?
Mayville, New York, right here at the former Mayville Central
Did you
School.
graduate from Mayville?
I didn't actually. When I was a freshman in high school, my family moved away. We moved to Westfield, and I graduated from Westfield.
Oh,
so
just down the road.
Yeah, right down the road. Very familiar with all the names that you were just talking about in the announcement. So a little bit of a memory lane there. But Chautauqua County in general is where I grew up, and both Tanya and I did, and now I was in the Hudson Valley for 25 years, which I loved very much. But I have to tell you, coming back here now for 2 years, I'm totally at home. This is where I belong. I'm so happy to be here, and I want to share with everybody what I've learned out there in the world about sports and athletics and keeping your body trim and fit. And so here we go.
All right. So what were you doing in Hudson Valley for 25 years? That's a long time.
Well, I was there, and I became a coach over there in triathlon, swimming, biking, and running, and started a triathlon club, Hudson Valley Triathlon Club, and then just some life changes, of course, brought me back to this area. I missed my family, I missed my roots, so
I know
came
how that
on
is.
back. Yeah.
Okay, I want to just take a moment because we're going to do some. I want to do something really fun right now. A lot of people don't realize that we're on YouTube, and people can watch us anywhere in the world. So your friends down in Hudson Valley can watch us later on, even though they can't pick it up right now. But I want to do a shout out to my cousin in the Netherlands. Okay, Cor, this is for you, Cor Hamels, and Cor is sort of like on the edge of crazy, like I think you are.
Right. Right.
I see what you do, and I go like, I can't even imagine doing some of that stuff. But Corey is a marathon runner. I think he's completed over 25 marathons, but he's doing a lot of that over hill, over dale, I was telling you earlier, throughout cities and so forth. So anyways, Corey, I want you to watch this show carefully. I'm going to send you the link later on, so I hope you and your friends enjoy this, because you're going to really like what Mark has to talk about today. There's a lot of things going on TV I see lately, like Ninja Warriors. I don't know if you ever watch American Ninja Warrior.
I've watched it, yes.
Maybe you think it's kind of like commercial, but to me it's sort of like, hey, it's encouraging kids to get out and do some fun things. It's tying in different things. And when I heard triathlon, I'm thinking, well, that kind of ties in various skill levels. So how the heck did you get involved? Let's talk about triathlons. Let's talk about that a little bit. What is it?
Right. Well, triathlon historically, traditionally, it's about 40 years old now, and it involves a swim, a bike, and a run traditionally.
All right, swim. Which I don't do, bike I do, and run I used to. Okay, so I got 1 out of 3.
Right, exactly. And you know, most kids have ridden a bike, and most learn to swim when they're kids. But and I actually learned to swim as an adult, which was very shocking and crazy, because I didn't really learn to swim. And then I taught myself how to swim as an adult, and learned that I could become a coach at swimming, which I got involved in right after that. And then I just discovered that people were always stopping me in my workouts at the Y. They would say, you know, could you show me how to do that? And so I realized I think I might have something here. I could probably make a living at being a coach. And so I did. And I started coaching, and I started a club, and before you know it, here I'm working over 20 years now as a triathlon coach and a fitness coach, and have also done some race productions. So Tanya and I are now running Wilson Endurance Sports, and we're creating all these triathlons around the state of New York. We have over 23 events now, and many of them are right here in Chautauqua County, Cattaraugus County.
Endurance sports.
Absolutely.
What does that mean?
Well, endurance sports involves anything that's longer than 5 minutes, basically.
Oh, I can do that.
You know, even a sprint triathlon, which consists of roughly a 750-meter swim, a 12-mile bike, and a 5K run, is still an endurance sport. You know, it's called a sprint triathlon. We actually produce a race in Cassadaga Lake, and it's a 400-yard swim, a 13-mile bike, and a 2-mile run. And most people find that they can do that very well, but that's still endurance. It involves going for long periods of time, because in the world of sprinting takes anywhere from 5 seconds to 3 minutes, right? That's really what sprinting is, if it's in its purest sense. So this is about endurance, right? And really, what better sport to represent for your life than triathlon or marathoning and so on?
So now, in the Olympics, there are various thons. Is this an Olympic event?
It is. It's at the what's called the ITU distance, or Olympic distance. International Triathlon Union has utilized that distance in the Olympics. I think 2000. The year 2000 was the first one in Sydney, Australia. And now it's a worldwide famous sport. But it all started with the Ironman, which started in Hawaii. And it was actually on the island of Oahu in Honolulu. And the story goes, and who knows really what the truth is, but these three officers were in a bar deciding who was the best athlete, and a swimmer, a biker, or a runner, because at that time there was a rough water swim in Oahu or Honolulu. And they said, well, the distance swimmers are the toughest out there in that rough water. Well, no, I think the cyclists who ride 112 miles around the island of Oahu.
112 miles?
112 miles.
Where's Galen Zook? That's up his alley.
Exactly. And then the Honolulu Marathon. So at the time, those were the three toughest events on the island at the time.
Okay.
So they said, all right, tell you what, a month from now, or whenever it was, they said, let's do it. Let's prove who the best athlete is. So we'll put them all three together.
Oh my gosh.
Swim, bike, and run. And the first time they ever raced, I think it was in 1980, I believe, maybe 1978. They did a race there on that island, and like 15 people signed up and 12 finished, and the only female did sign up before but didn't finish the race. So then the next year, about 23 signed up or something like that, and finally a female finished. Yeah, so a 2.4 mile swim, a 112 mile bike ride, followed by a marathon, 26.2 mile run.
Let's see. No, and no.
I know, exactly.
What?
It's
2.4 mile swim. I guess I can swim. It's been years since I've swum.
Yeah.
The bike, 112 miles. Oh my God! How long did that take?
Well,
of course, some of these guys, they do it in hours. I mean, this would be like a couple days.
People always ask me, well, how many days does that take? And no, it actually happens all in one day. And the winners.
The triathlon is in one day?
Well, an Ironman has to be done within 17 hours.
You gotta be
rules.
kidding me.
No,
17 hours.
There are cutoffs. You have to make the swim by 2 hours and 20 minutes, and then by
Remember I said, tell Wally, don't leave without, that would be me. I'd be swimming, don't tell the boat not to leave, I'm coming.
Yeah, it's a long day, and it's not for everyone, honestly. Right. It's really not. You have to get into the sport at shorter distances first.
Right. So it sounds like what you're doing is a modified Ironman.
Well, there's sprint triathlons, Olympic distance triathlons, which are longer, and then the half Ironman, and then the Ironman. And most people do all 4 distances, or 3 distances prior to doing an Ironman.
Now, my understanding is you've done the Ironman.
I've done Ironman 10 times.
10 times. So you've swum 2.4 miles?
Oh, yes.
And you rode your bike 112 miles?
10 times at least.
And you ran a marathon?
Yes, sir.
All in one day?
Yes, sir.
I rest my case. You're certifiably crazy. How many people do this?
Well, 2,500 athletes at a time.
What? 2,500 people go out and do all this in one day?
Correct, and then there are about 35 different Ironman events around the world.
That's really unbelievable. And I'm not trying to make light of this. I mean, to me, at my point in my life, it's like, wow.
Well, truly, it's quite a feat, and you can't just go out and do it today. You could try, but you could make a lot of mistakes, and maybe even not make it and hurt yourself. But with a little bit of guidance from someone who's done it before, you can actually complete something like this. I mean,
how long did it take you to get ready for these things?
Well, if it's your first Ironman, it could take up to about a year to really understand.
Okay, so I got time.
You've got some time.
Justin, what do you think?
You have time. There's a chance that you could do it. I mean, honestly, you could do it.
I could do it.
With a little bit of training,
in
a little
17
bit of practice.
hours.
In 17 hours, I bet you could do it. I bet you could. A little bit of guidance.
Oh my gosh, they talked me into doing Roswell last year. I don't know if it would take a lot of talking. I think the swimming would be my downfall. I don't think I can swim 2.4 miles.
No, well, see, as a coach, I wouldn't recommend that you do an Ironman next year, but you could do a sprint triathlon and be inspired by that experience and how cool it felt and the training involved in getting you there. Because you don't have to ever be an Ironman to be a triathlete. And that's one flaw I think that's been created out there by NBC on Ironman, when they show Ironman every December or November, whenever it is that people don't really think they're an athlete or a triathlete if they've never done an Ironman. And that's a mistake, because you can be a very fit, fast, healthy person by doing just sprint triathlons for the rest of your life. Huh. So
when was your first Ironman?
My first Ironman was in 1999, and that was the first Ironman at Lake Placid. That was the first North American continental Ironman that they've ever done. And then this past July was my 10th one, and I'm very proud. I finished 1 minute faster this past year than I did in that very first one.
Oh, so you take all the times put together, and that's your final time?
Yes, swim, bike, and run, right, exactly.
Okay, so mine would be like, let's see, okay, probably 10 hours for that and 2 days worth of swim. So.
Again, as you practice,
I know.
you
Sure,
start to understand what you
absolutely.
can do and can't do.
Well, you know, I have read about people my age that have worked up to these kinds of things, and you know, maybe they're not the first ones through, but you know, they finish, and I think it's got to be a personal goal. I think,
Yep.
and I got to be honest with you, the crew, an Ironman picture. Oh yeah, let's do a picture. Okay, there you are. There you are. So
Yes.
tell us about that picture. What's going on here?
Well, I was just completed the Ironman here this past July in this
Okay.
picture, and the clock, they do wave starts, but the number down below is, what is that, 11:51:17. So that's literally 11 hours, 51 minutes, and 17 seconds. And that's roughly 1 minute faster than I did it in my very first one in 1999. So I'm very, very proud of that fact that I could still hold on after 19 years worth and still doing it. And I was just very
that's
excited
terrific.
in this moment because my family, Tanya and all of our family members were there, and
That's
it was
huge,
just so
isn't it?
exciting. Well, it was huge.
You really
they pulled me through.
To
trust
do
me.
those things by yourself is really difficult, I would think.
Yeah.
So, wow. For those that are listening on the radio right now, it was a picture of Mark coming through the final finish line there, and the champ, the Rocky look. So
Right.
you did 11 hours and whatever it was, almost 57 minutes or whatever it was.
Yeah,
And so you have to do it in 17. So you were well under the max.
I was. I finished, I think, 425th or something out of the 2,500. So I had a good day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So, okay. So people are saying, all right. So, like, if you finish first or second or whatever, is there some type of award or trophy? Or?
Yeah, on this particular day, there were pro athletes, men, in the race, and I think the winner did it in 8 hours and 30 minutes.
3 hours faster?
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
pretty amazing
Pretty
athletes.
intense stuff.
Yeah, very good athletes.
People may be thinking, I like to ask questions that I think the listeners are thinking about health. I mean, do you have to have a medical doctor approval that you can participate, or how's that work?
I haven't seen a doctor in over 30 years. You're the first doctor I've seen
All right.
in 30
If you
years.
have if you're not feeling well, don't call me. I just say read a book and call me in the morning. But what I mean is in order to participate in the Ironman or the triathlons, you have to have medical clearances, or you just
No.
sign a waiver that says I feel fit, I'm good.
That's correct. You sign a waiver saying you understand that this is could be bad for you, meaning
Mm-hmm.
death. You could die in this event, and some
Injure
have.
yourself or whatever.
Some
Yeah.
have actually, yeah,
Yeah.
but not many. I mean,
Sure.
not many.
Well, I would think that a reasonable person would prepare for this sort of thing, and also, would be physically prepared to endure this. 11 hours and 57 minutes and 17 seconds.
Yeah.
What time do you start?
Start about 7 a.m.
Oh,
So it's a long
at
day.
7 o'clock. I could handle 7. I thought you were going to say like 4 in the morning or something. Oh, still.
It's a long day.
It's a long day. So you're finishing up in the evening time then.
Yep, just before dark.
So you must be doing this in the summertime or
Correct,
spring
July. Yeah, well,
so
depends
before
on
it's dark.
daylight.
So this is an international organization, the Ironman?
Yeah,
type thing?
Ironman is the largest company in the world of triathlon, and they have the most money. They're the biggest, and they're the ones that started. And there's been some evolution throughout the years, but
Sure.
again, the thing is that you never have to do an Ironman to enjoy good health, and in fact, doing too many Ironmans can be bad for your health. believe it or not.
So are you going to do another one?
Probably when I'm 60. I want to do one when I'm 60 and then another one when I'm 70.
Okay. Let's see. I'm doing the math here. Okay, good. Well,
Well, I just turned 50. That
Oh.
was the goal. The goal was to do my
Oh.
10th one
Okay.
in my 50th year.
okay.
Accomplished. So I
Done.
never
Check.
have to do another one.
Okay.
And I don't have to prove anything. It's just it's an incredible feat, of course. And of course, I'll be slower. I guess maybe I won't. I don't know. But to be 60 and to be able to do it again
Well,
would be wonderful.
Whether it's an athlete or we were talking about singing, it seems like some people actually get faster as they get older because their bodies are, I don't know, better conditioned or they're just better at it. I don't know.
Well, smarter is probably,
Smarter,
more
train better,
wisdom,
yeah.
To be wiser. I mean, as I was younger, I could go faster, but you're not as humble when you're younger, I think.
Yeah.
You don't eat right because you have to eat, obviously, when you do this, and on the bike and in the run. And it's difficult to stay in the moment. You think you can do something, but you have to stay in the moment and accomplish in each moment what is needed. And that helps you survive and to succeed. And that's just true about life. You can't just say, it's going to be this way, and then things come at you, and then you have to adapt.
Right.
And that's just true of everything that we do in our life. You don't expect certain things to happen to you. Like, I didn't expect to be hit by a car.
Yeah, tell us about
ago.
that. I was reading about that on Facebook. I go, holy moly.
Well, my wife and I, Tanya, were riding through the Amish country maybe it was a month ago. I can't even remember when it was. And we had been together all day. We stopped at some Amish places, got a donut, had some fun and riding. And most of the day we were riding close to one another side by side. But in the last couple of miles out in Randolph on the way back into town, I looked up and there was this car drifting across the lane at me. It was a classic texting drift. Now I don't have any evidence that they were texting, but it was classic, and they just kept coming over into our lane.
Wow.
And Tanya was about 100 feet behind me, and I saw them coming, and I thought, if I veer into my left, and then they correct, they'll hit me.
Right.
And so I just kept moving to the right, hoping that they will recover and pull and look up.
Yeah.
They never did, and they just
Oh
kept
my
coming,
gosh.
and their car went into the ditch, and as I was moving over, and they were going about 40 miles per hour, and the front of the right-hand side of their car actually hit me and struck me and ripped the bike out from under me, and I flew up into the air. Tanya saw all of this. I flew up into the air, and luckily, thank you God, I landed on my butt, and I was alive.
Yeah.
And it was a very scary moment, of course, and the first thing was, I was just so happy that I was alive and grateful, and I just stood up and ran right back to Tanya and said, I'm okay, and that was all that happened. I had a bruise on my leg.
So lucky.
Yeah, very lucky.
Somebody said for those padded pants.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is another story unto itself.
I know.
I never even knew about padded riding pants.
Yeah.
To the guys here in the studio, go, you need to get those pants. I go, for what? And then, I got it.
It's worth it.
So, Tanya, you keep up with this guy? No. Okay, honest answer there. So, as far as swimming goes, where do you swim? I mean, you go to local Y here, or?
JCC,
Okay, college.
Fredonia also has public access there, and also Turner School in Chautauqua.
Oh, sure, right down the road.
Yeah, right down the street. And, so there are places here to swim, but Cassadaga Lake in the summertime, beautiful.
Yeah.
Open water. And so we utilize, Southern Tier Tri Club is out of that lake, and we have our series there. So there's some great opportunities in the area to swim.
Okay.
And,
Now, of course,
recommend it.
people tell me all the time that Chautauqua County is like a premier place for biking as well.
Oh.
They just popped up your Southern Tier Triathlon Club. So this is your club that you run, or you belong to, or how's that work?
Well, yes, Tanya and I created this club. We came to the area, and there was no local club. There's the Buffalo Tri Club, there's the Erie, and then Rochester, and we thought, well, this is a perfect opportunity for us to create a club locally and to start helping people get fit in this area and by enjoying triathlon. So we started this summer triathlon series in Cassadaga, one Wednesday out of each month, June through September, and we train at the actual race location at Cassadaga Beach Park every Wednesday night as a group, and we swim, bike, and run the course every time. And people come out and practice and try it out, and they talk to me and get advice, free advice, and and then we do the race. Again, it's 400-yard swim, 13-mile bike ride, and a 2-mile run.
So how did you come up with those numbers as opposed to these other bizarre numbers?
Exactly. Well, because for newbies or people who are just trying out the sport, maybe they're a runner and they're not a swimmer, or a runner, not a cyclist, I wanted to make sure that they could accomplish those
So it's
distances.
doable.
It was very doable. And also it's on a Wednesday night, so it gets dark, obviously, as the summer goes on. So we just make sure we make the daylight, and everyone brings food, and we have awards, and it's a USA Triathlon sanctioned event, so you could get nationally ranked by racing our event.
So it's okay to be the last ranked.
Absolutely.
So I could do this.
You could do this,
I could-
exactly.
I tell you, it's the swimming part. The 13 miles, I can.
Well,
that's
you
no
know
big
what?
deal. I can do that in a
We
heartbeat.
offer free swimming clinics at the lake throughout the summer. You're welcome to come over, and we'll give you a 1 hour free swim clinic.
We have a polar bear here. Where's Randy? He likes to do that. Polar jumper.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll certainly keep that in mind. And now, when are you going to do that again this summer?
We start swimming in May.
Okay. Well, make sure you let me know. And
I will.
We'll let folks know.
Absolutely.
We're all about Chautauqua County here and what's going on. Let's take a little breather here, folks. You're watching Chautauqua Sunrise. I'm Doc Hamels, and my guest today is Mark Wilson, who's talking about some really cool stuff. And if you haven't tuned in yet, we're talking about triathlons and Ironman fitness and taking good care of yourself. And this is sounding kind of interesting. If I could just get that swimming part, I could do the rest. I could run 2 miles. That's no big deal. I think I could do that.
Absolutely.
As long as you have a last place. That's mine. Nobody else can have.
Someone's got it. You got to show
Someone's
the
got to
win.
be
You gotta-
last. Okay, so we have a phone call. You want to take a call?
Absolutely.
All right. Good morning, caller.
Hey, good morning, Doc. Good morning,
Good morning.
Mark.
Good morning.
I've been interested in like the Ironman ever since years ago. One of the guys from Jamestown, Jeff Blomquist,
Oh,
was
sure.
always talking to me about running when I worked in a grocery store. One of the things is now when you go from swimming to is running the next event.
Swim, then bike, then run. That's historically the order that they put them in.
Okay, I'm just wondering now, I see people do it, but do you stay with the wet swim trunks, or do you have time to change?
Oh, that's a good question.
It's a good question. For Ironman, they actually have changing tents, so you can change from your wet clothing into some dry cycling apparel. But in a sprint triathlon, you don't take that time to do it. You just get on with your wet tri-suit or your biking shorts, pull on a dry top, and then go on. You wind dry.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. And in the summertime, it's usually pretty warm, so there's not much of a concern for that.
But that's a good question.
Yeah.
I was wondering because, chafing and all that, it seems like it'd be awful hard after you get wet to be doing the other.
112 miles on a bicycle with wet shorts. That could do it.
Yeah, definitely. In an Ironman, absolutely. I would use my swim trunks and then just get out of those and put on some dry cycling apparel.
So are you still being timed during all that as well?
Oh, yes. Yeah,
Oh,
the
so you got
transition is
bam,
included.
bam, bam.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And now again, in an Ironman, you want to make sure that you don't take too much time. You want to take your time in transition. It's more about the comfort and being comfortable and satisfied with your changing. Because there's sun, that it starts cool in the day and then it becomes very hot and then cold again as the night air comes. So it's a long day.
Yeah.
Lot to
I guess that
consider.
would bring up another question. When you're watching it on TV, it seems like people never stop. Do you guys get to take breaks, or do you grab water, drinks as you're running by somebody, or is there actually a little break time during a race? Because you never see that on TV. It's just like they just keep going.
Well, you can stop anytime you want. You can stop and sit down and drink some Gatorade or anything that you like, some Coke or some gels, sugary gels or cookies or pretzels or whatever they're offering at the aid station. But, the people who are trying to win the race, they just keep on going and, push that limit and try not to take in as much as possible so that they get to the finish line first.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, and keep up the good work.
All right.
You're
Thanks for
welcome.
calling
Thank
in.
you.
Bob Burke.
Bob Burke.
He's a Ironman.
That is correct.
So-
that is correct.
That's also fascinating. And he's older than you.
That's right, he is. He's, I think you wouldn't mind me saying, he's 73 years old
Yes.
now, and actually he's in great shape.
He doesn't look 73.
Not at all, not at all.
He looks younger than me.
He's very strong, and in fact, he's planning on doing another Ironman.
Is he?
Yeah, and the Big Fish, actually, if I can give a little plug to that.
What's the Big Fish?
The Big Fish is an Olympic distance triathlon and a sprint triathlon that has been historically held at Camp Anyasa, right down the road
okay.
in DeWittville. and Hartfield area, but now it's going to be held in Mayville Park, right here in Mayville.
Oh, wow.
And Tanya and I are very excited about it because now they've asked me to be the co-race director for the event, and it's got a new date this year. It's a Sunday, June 16th. So really happy to be here because I actually grew up, Tanya and I grew up right here on the lake.
Yeah, it's a homecoming for you.
Absolutely.
Okay, so these triathlons, these Ironman competitions, we're going to keep them separate because I realize one is sort of modified Ironman and the other one is the Ironman. So the Ironman competition, is it around the world or is it just in the United States?
Yes, it's all around the world. I believe there's about 38 events right now worldwide, and they all are qualifiers for the World Championships in Kona, Hawaii, the big island of Hawaii, every October. In fact, they just had it about a month ago.
Oh, I did not realize that. So it's like your marathons. You run various marathons to qualify to go to the Boston Marathon or
Exactly.
New York, whatever.
Exactly, but that is the World Championship. So people from all around the world attempt to qualify at those qualifiers, like Lake Placid, to go to Kona.
Got it. Okay, we have another caller. Hang on.
I'm ready.
Morning, caller.
Well, good morning, Doc, and good morning, Mark.
morning.
I'm very impressed with all this information about your physical activities and the people that participate. And congratulations to you and all of your members.
Pretty amazing, huh?
Thank
It
you.
is amazing. It is amazing. And I see Dr. Burke at the swimming pool at Turner on Sunday mornings with the group.
Okay.
He's very active. And I didn't realize that Cassadaga Lake was such a great place to go swimming.
Oh, you have no idea. It's one of the sweetest open water swims I've ever had in my life, and I've swum in a lot of great lakes, Lake George, the ocean in Kona, Hawaii. But it is really sweet. It doesn't get too cold, believe it or not. It's not extremely deep. There are spots that are deep, but in general it stays very warm. So in May and in October, the water temperature is still right around 60 degrees. I know that sounds cold to you, but with a wetsuit, it actually is very doable, very comfortable, and just one of the sweetest spots I've ever
See, I
had a chance
prefer
to swim.
lakes that are no deeper than 5'5". that comes right up about my nose. If I have to stop.
Well, I know Lake Chautauqua is like ice water.
It's larger, so
Yeah,
it
sure.
it has the opportunity.
I know, it's very deep. And a few times fish have nibbled on my toes in Lake Chautauqua. Does that happen in Cassadaga Lake?
I've never had a fish nibble on my toes there, not once, which surprised me. I thought I would have that experience because it happens.
Sure.
But no,
You're curious.
not once, not twice at all. So
Are there a lot of weeds?
no weeds whatsoever. The town is great. They have a boat that actually harvests all the seaweed and they take it out and on a weekly basis. So there are no weeds whatsoever. You can see the bottom practically the whole way across, and it's a beautiful, beautiful lake. I'm so glad I discovered it. Both Tanya and I swim there throughout the summer. We hold our events there, and people love it.
And now, I never noticed where the bathing beach is.
It's right on Park Avenue. It's parallel to Route 60, so just one block over. You know where the main light in the Four Corners is?
Yeah.
That's 60, and just one block over. If you take a right, if you're coming from Fredonia, you take a right on to Maple Avenue, and then Park is the first right-hand turn. So it's right on that street.
Well, you've got me very interested.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And you're welcome to check it out. You know, non-members are welcome to come in anytime and just train on the course with us. We swim, bike, and run the course every single Wednesday as a group, and you're welcome to stop by. Please do.
Well, this is terrific.
Thank
So
you.
glad you're on the show this morning.
Yay. Thank you.
So, Lynn, what's going on with you this week?
Well, this week we have our usual events going on. We're recruiting people for different positions. We're looking to help them find jobs with our senior employment program. In Brockton, we have the free computer training at the Ohio Library. And in Westfield, the Patterson Library also has computer training. We encourage people to contact us. We're always getting calls every week. People are advised to call the Mayville office, 753-4471.
There we go. It's right on the screen. Or go to your Facebook page.
Right?
Okay.
And have a happy Thanksgiving.
You too, and thanks for calling in as always. So check it out. All right,
Thank you.
thanks, Lynn.
Have a great week.
You too. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. So, speaking of Office for the Aging and so forth, all right, is there an age limit?
Great question. Nope, not at all. We have kids that are in the race. So I think the youngest we've had was 11 years old. At the slide you just saw was from our KBR triathlon at that lake in Casadega, and that stands for Kayak, Bike, and Run. He was 11 years old, did the whole thing himself. It's a kayak. It was 1 mile, 13-mile bike ride, and 2-mile run.
Okay.
And then the oldest competitor we had this year was 62, I believe. So that's the highest so far. So you will set a new record once you come over and compete with us.
Kayaking, huh?
There you go.
So where did this KBR come from?
Well, you know, we're at a concert. There's another slide of the actual location there with the they have a pavilion there in the background, and we were there for a concert, and one of the town's board members said, "Hey, why don't you do a kayak, bike, and run over here?" And Tanya and I turned to one and I said, "Oh my gosh, that's brilliant!" And so we created it, and we just held the event in October. October 21st this year, and Tanya's father said, "Well, why don't you do an icebreaker edition?" And everybody just looked at each other like, "What? That's brilliant too." So we're going to do an icebreaker edition of the KBR Triathlon at that lake, April 7th, 2018.
Assuming that the ice is broken.
Well, I think it
or you
will
can
be
do ice
broken.
skating.
Yeah, I know. Could become an SBR, skate, bike, and run. But we're going to do it in April 7th, 2018, and then do the Leaf Peeper edition next October. So it's become
Who comes
a
up with
thing.
these? Who comes up with the titles?
Well, my father-in-law came up with the icebreaker, and I have to take credit for the leaf peeper, I think, right, Tanya, honey? Yeah, I think I came up with that one. So, you know what? I just love putting on events. I love health and fitness. I need it myself. We all do. And you know, you look at our population, and there's not much movement going on with all of our social media and the computers and so on. And you know, if you just move a little bit, it can make a big difference in your life and your health.
Okay, so I'm going to play out the older viewer right now who's saying, I haven't run, biked in 30 years or more.
Right.
So what are you doing for those folks? Anything?
Absolutely. Swimming is the greatest health and fitness thing you could do for yourself. Being in water, it's so forgiving. You're floating. You know, so you work your heart and lungs a lot, and that's good for our health.
Wait a minute. You're floating.
Yes.
What's keeping you afloat? Some of us sink.
It's true. Actually, men actually sink more than women because we have 15% higher muscle.
We're dense.
Some more than others. So yeah, so compared to the other sports, there's this floating element, and we use wetsuits, and that also helps you to float, which is it's fair and it counts. So wetsuits are legal, and you float, and it's very hard to drown in a wetsuit.
I would look like the Michelin Man. I had to blow up my wetsuit to float.
It's not very flattering. You're right. It's no one really looks great in a wetsuit, I have to say. But wetsuits, and so for people who are aging, swimming is great. Now, also biking is fantastic for your
I have
strength.
to admit, I really enjoyed biking.
And you know, biking is so fun because of what you can see on a bike. You know, you can see our beautiful county.
And smell.
And
You're taking all the fragrances of the seasons and that.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, it's a great way to find out where you live, wherever you live, to ride a bike. And the countryside we have here is absolutely gorgeous. And if you haven't been out on a bike, you see what it looks like in a car. But get out on a bike, you discover how interesting and how challenging the hills can be around here.
Yeah, I noticed that.
But they're not, honestly, they're not impossible.
Okay.
They're not impossible.
You can push it up.
You can, and you know, there's nothing to stop you to get off and walk if you have to, and still walking is great for you. So,
I like that idea.
swim, bike, and run. In triathlon, you don't have to run. You can actually walk. It's actually legal.
Mark, we got like 25 seconds left. We killed the whole show, and it's been so much fun.
I'm so happy.
So what would you like to tell folks to wrap things up?
Check out our website,
Which is?
www.coachmarkwilson.com, and it has all of our events. But more than anything, keep watching this show.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
We're going to talk more about what you're doing and let people know. because I think it's a good match. Hey, folks, that's it. Happy Thanksgiving. It's coming up this week. I can't believe it already. Be safe out there hunting, and I want to thank Mark Wilson for being my guest today. Check out his activities and his wife's activities. It's good stuff, and we're going to do this all again next Saturday. We are going to look a little bloated from turkey, maybe, but have a great weekend. Be safe, watch the snow, and be well. Take care now. Bye now. There you go, sir.
Thank you so much.